Hello guys, and welcome to Marina Bay. We're getting ready for the start here at the Singapore Grand Prix. We are on pole position and we're off, getting a pretty good start. No noticeable wheel spin. Can't really see Massa in the mirrors. He must be on the inside of us there. We try and cut him off, heading into turn 1, 2, and 3. Looks like there's a bit of a pile up there in the turns right behind us because we're opening up quite a gap here. Coming up on Raffles Boulevard here, we got a gap of about at least 2 or 3 seconds down to Alonso, who's in second position now, and Hamilton is in third, meaning Massa must have lost a lot of positions there in turn 1. And all in all, I have to say I was pretty surprised that we were able to grab pole for this race. I did not expect us to be all that competitive on this track. I was kind of hoping we'd be, you know, in the top 5 or something like that on the grid and maybe have a really good start and then just kind of park the bus the rest of the way. But it appears that right now that at least we're matching pace with Alonso and Hamilton behind us there, because they don't seem to be catching up on us right now. But then again, we've seen races before this season where the AI kind of starts out a little slowly, and then after the second pit stop they really start putting the hammer down, and we rarely seem to have an answer for that. But then again, that was in the Lotus car. This is the Toro Rosso. Maybe things are going to be a little bit different this time. And as you can see, we have 2 cars out of the race already, so somebody must have crashed out. And coming in here to turns 18 and 19 under the bridge, I wouldn't be surprised if we had our share of accidents on this particular part of the track, especially because the weather forecast said there was a 28% chance of rain, and if we get a wet race here on this track, I think there's a pretty good chance that things are going to get ugly real quick. Anyway, status after lap 1, we are in first position. We have Alonso about 5.5 seconds down, Hamilton immediately behind him. Massa is in 4th. He started out 2nd on the grid. And our rival Raikkonen is down to 7th position. So at the moment it looks like we have a clear track ahead of us. And skipping ahead here to lap 4, we have now Ricciardo in 2nd place, has overtaken Alonso, and we have a 10-second gap that we have opened down to Ricciardo. So things are going very well for us here in the opening laps at Marina Bay. And skipping ahead to lap 6 here, coming out on Esplanade Drive, we have spent the last couple of laps running our fuel in mix 1 just to make sure that we conserve enough fuel for the entire race. Don't have any stupid incidents like we did at Monza. That was a real heartbreaker, by the way. And as you can see, we have an extra lap of fuel right now, so we are going to be putting it into standard mode for the time being. But skipping ahead here to lap 9, we are maintaining our current gap down to Ricciardo in 2nd place of about 11 seconds, and Alonso appears to be about 10 seconds after Ricciardo. So at the moment, things appear to be working out well for us. The only thing that bothers me at this point is that we have started out the race on the option tire, and we are supposed to be coming in on lap 18 for a change of tires, change to primes. And as you can see here on lap 10, these options are starting to show a little wear here, and the grip seems to be deteriorating quite significantly here over the last couple of laps. Skipping ahead here to lap 12, we have about 6 laps to go on these option tires, and I'm really doubting this is going to be possible. I think we're going to have to come in early because we have a lot of problems out on the track, losing the back end, coming out of turns and things like that. So on lap 16, 4 laps later, we come in for our first stop. We're going to be changing to a set of primes. Our initial pit strategy was we'll start on options, a 2-stop race, start on options, change to primes for the middle stint, and put on options to finish out the race on. But I think we may have to abandon that and go for a strategy in which we put on a set of primes for the finishing stint as well. Otherwise, we're going to have trouble making these primes last long enough, because there is no way we're going to be able to do 18-20 laps on a set of option tires on this track, apparently. So this is going to make things interesting. Who started out on primes and who's going to be switching to options, who started out on options, who's going to be switching to primes, all that stuff. Usually there's a dramatic change in the pace of certain AI cars here after the first stop. Coming up here on lap 19, we are currently chasing Ricciardo, who is in first. He's about 7.5 seconds up on us, but he has not made a pit stop yet, and we should be able to gain first back once he does. And skipping ahead here to lap 20, Ricciardo has made his pit stop. He's about 17 seconds down on us at the moment, and we are back in first. Rosberg, though, who started very, very far back on the grid, he didn't even make it into Q2, is now up into third position and is about 12 seconds down on Ricciardo. So he is really moving at this point. Jumping ahead to lap 27, we have spent a couple of more laps in lean mode, conserving some more fuel, and as you can see, Ricciardo has closed the gap on us just a little bit. He is about 14 seconds down right now. Rosberg, on the other hand, is closing on Ricciardo as it is, so it'll be interesting to see when Rosberg is going in for his first stop, because unless something really dramatic happened behind us early in the race, I don't see how he can be this far up in the standings right now unless he hasn't made a pit stop yet. Skipping ahead to lap 30, we've had some problems with some back markers that weren't all that quick getting out of the way, and it's definitely cost us some time here as Ricciardo has been able to close the gap to about 7.5 seconds. And although he's been posting some fastest lap times, I mean, he's also opening up a gap down to Rosberg, and we just get a piece of the curb, almost losing the car there into the barrier coming through turn 12, and that was a bit of a scare. Jumping ahead here to lap 32, we have been able to increase the gap on Ricciardo a little bit. Once again, we are up to about 9 seconds on him now, so hopefully that means that we are going to be able to extend the gap just a little bit further, because I have a nasty feeling that some of these AI cars are going to be very fast once we all come out after our second pit stop. Some of them are going to be out on option tires. We are going to be out on primes because it is the only way we can make our tires last in this race. We're on lap 34 right now, and we have about 14 more laps to go before our scheduled second stop, where we are supposed to be changing to options if we follow our pit strategy. However, these prime tires are already starting to go really bad, as a matter of fact, and there is no way we are going to make them last to lap 48. So we're going to be coming in a little earlier than that and switching to a set of primes instead of options for our last stint. And also, Ricciardo has closed the gap on us completely and is right behind us at the moment, which is definitely not helping our tires one bit. We had a pretty good stint in the middle of the race from about, I think it was about lap 26 to about lap 30, where we were under no immediate pressure and could just basically drive our own race and save our tires the way we saw fit. But right now, we really have to push just to keep Ricciardo behind us, and the tires are going to be suffering even more. And jumping to lap 37, we are going to come in for what is supposedly our last stop of the race. Now remember, they did say there was a chance of rain, so I was kind of thinking maybe we should put on a set of options here and then hope for the rain to start a little later so we could go in and switch to inters. We also had our front wing change there. We had a brush with a barrier earlier in the race, but then again, nobody's been saying anything about rain other than what was in the pit menu. I really didn't want to go out on a set of tires that I knew would probably only last for about 16 laps when we had 24 laps remaining in the race. Skipping ahead here to lap 43, we are going to be passing Bottas, who is in the pits currently. However, Rosberg has completely closed the gap on us at the moment and is really starting to put us under pressure, even though we are still on reasonably new tires. So by the looks of it, as was expected, this last stint could easily end up being a display of how to park the bus at Marina Bay. Skipping ahead here to lap 45, Vettel, who is in third position, ends up having some kind of a problem because all of a sudden he just goes off the grid there, and Bottas takes over third, and the number of cars running changes from 11 to 10. So Vettel must have either crashed out or had a mechanical issue. At any rate, he is out of the race. Jumping ahead to lap 48, Rosberg really putting us under pressure at this moment. We almost lose the car into the barrier there going into turn 18. And just getting a little bit too much of the curb here, losing the back end. That's enough for Rosberg. He seizes the opportunity, moves down the inside of us, and Rosberg is in first place here on lap 48. And unless he has some sort of mechanical failure or crashes, I don't think we are going to be seeing him for the rest of the race. And he's not even on option tires. And skipping right ahead here to lap 50, as you can see, Bottas has closed the gap on us right now and is starting to put us under some pressure. Also, it is beginning to rain ever so slightly, meaning we probably could have fitted that set of options and then gone in for inters later in the race. But then again, hindsight is 20/20, and at that time it did not seem like it was going to rain. And on lap 52, it is now time to change these primes for some inters as the track conditions have gotten bad enough. I was kind of hoping I could skip the inters and just go straight to a set of wets maybe, but unfortunately the primes that we were on were so worn that there was absolutely no grip left in them, and we had Bottas all over us from behind there. So we really had no choice. And this is just Groundhog Day all over again. Lap 54, as you can see, Bottas is still giving us a whale of a time. And this is just pit carnage right now. We are coming in to change our tires again on lap 55. We didn't even spend 3 laps on inters there. And how are we going to keep Bottas behind us here in a full wet race? So this is definitely going to end up in a display of how to park the bus at Marina Bay for the final 6 laps. I am going to do everything that is in my power to keep that guy behind me. And there is absolutely no traction here whatsoever already. Oh my God, this is going to get ugly. Trying to short change wherever I can just to see if I can find some traction somewhere. The only good part about it is that this is a street circuit, making it so very difficult for Bottas to actually pass us. And on lap 56, we are still in the same situation that we were before. We have Bottas immediately behind us here, and we are just struggling to find traction and grip on this track. This is just sort of a mix between driving Miss Daisy and Holiday on Ice. Trying to short change my gears on every exit of every turn, just trying to find some traction here, and it seems to be helping just a little bit, but I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that if Bottas were to pass us right now, he would blow by us and we would not see him again for the rest of the race. Just running very wide here at lap 58, and that might have been the opportunity Bottas needed, but he did not have the line to make it count. And again, short-changing everything, trying to find some traction anywhere just to survive these last couple of laps. And jumping to the final lap here on St. Andrews Road, Nico Rosberg takes the win here. We go a little bit out of our way to block Bottas here, but there is no way I'm giving up this second place. Not after what happened at Monza. No freaking way. almost kissing the barrier there, still trying to shortchange everything here, but it doesn't really seem to help much. And just coming down the last straight section here into turn 22, he has a bit of a look down the inside, can't make it stick, but we run wide anyway. Nothing we can do about that. We finish in second here in Singapore at Marina Bay Street Circuit. Rosberg takes this one. Bottas is third. And this ended up in complete carnage. I think we had about 10 cars finish the race and 12 cars crashing out or having mechanical failures. Let's see who didn't finish there. Vettel didn't finish. Perez, Maldonado, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Grosjean, Suttle, Massa is out, Hamilton is out, Button and Kobayashi. I mean, Button and Hamilton must have gone out in the first lap or so, because I remember seeing Hamilton in third place at one point, and then all of a sudden he was just gone. But by the looks of this, he was out pretty early in the race. At any rate, that puts us into 5th spot in the Drivers' Championship, where Nico Rosberg is now really pulling away from Lewis Hamilton. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe even, and I'll be seeing you soon enough.